I'm so surprised that I'm even standing up at the preaching class here at San Diego Christian College, and I'm just so excited, but mostly I'm really scared. I'm nervous, I'm surprised, and you'd think I'd know better, because I have been a communications major for the past 4 years of my life. So presentations, left to right, every single class I've had, we presented everything, that nerves is still there. But fear when it comes to public speaking is just something so familiar to me. It's something that was in me when I was giving my senior capstone last semester, and if we're going way back, it's something familiar to me when I gave my first ever college presentation in public speaking. So it's something that's always going to be there. And it's not just with public speaking, it's with everything. Fear will always be there to stop you from doing what you're called to do. And there's always a reason to not do something. And for me, that's fear. So the fact that I'm even standing here preparing to share the word with you guys, I would have not thought in a million years that I would even do that. Would I have thought 4 years ago, oh yeah, maybe I might just take the preaching class for fun, which is why I'm here,
Hopefully fun.
Yeah, and it's fun so far. But no, I wouldn't have thought that, I would be in front of a group of people sharing the word, only because of that fear that I'm not good enough to do that. If I did feel like I was good enough to do that, I'd be a Bible major. But even then, I know you Bible majors too always have that fear to share the word. But here I am, standing in front of a class filled with Bible majors, giving a message as a communications major. But how? How is that even possible? Courage. That's the simple answer, is courage. Courage is defined as the ability to do something that frightens one. So yeah, I'm a little frightened standing here in front of you guys right now. But there's just something in me. I knew when Professor John said, hey, communications for ministry, I was like, that's the preaching class. I was like, there's just something in me that stirred us like, go do it. And so I said, okay, God, I'm going to trust you with that. Maybe this is a step to something that I'm supposed to do later in the future, or maybe this is just an experience and a chance for me to get to know more about what the word says. But where there is fear, there's a chance to be courageous. And looking right now at you guys, I see that some of you guys, are seniors. Bea, I know that you're about to step into the real world after this semester with me. And when I think courage, I think stepping into fear. And that's what we're about to do, right? That's what we're about to do. We're about to step into fear. But something common I've noticed at this school especially, I'm so involved, I get to talk to everybody, but something I've noticed is that there's that fear of not being good enough. Whether it's, being a good enough believer, or being good enough to be in college, or even just being good enough to even live the adult life. Because that's where I am. For me, that's been my thought preparing this message, is I'm not good enough to stand here and tell you guys about the word. I'm not good enough to dive in and dissect what the Bible has to say. I know as much as the next person next to me, But throughout the word, there's just many, many scriptures that point back to being courageous. But one thing I kind of want to focus on, one book that I want to focus on, is just a little book in the Old Testament. It's the book of Esther. I remember watching a little Netflix movie about the book of Esther, and I thought it was an amazing movie, You got a little love, we got a little courage, we got the queen, And so I'm going to go ahead and dive in. I'm going to start off in Esther chapter 7, verse 1 to 4. And in there it says, so the king and Haman went to Queen Esther's banquet, and as they were drinking wine on the second day, the king asked, Queen Esther, what is your petition? It will be given to you. What is your request? Even up to half the kingdom, it will be granted. Then Queen Esther answered, if I have found favor with you, your majesty, and if it pleases you, grant me my life, this is my petition, and spare my people, this is my request. For I and my people have been sold to be destroyed, killed, and annihilated. If we had merely been sold as male and female slaves, I would have been kept quiet, because no such distress would justify disturbing the king. Now I can see how that portion of the of Book Esther can be confusing if you don't really know what Book Esther is about. So let's just backtrack, shall we? So basically, I kind of want to highlight who Queen Esther is. And so in the previous chapters, it mentioned that Queen Esther grew up, no parents, mom and dad out of the picture. She basically grew up with her cousin Mordecai. And Mordecai, throughout the story, is basically Queen Esther's right-hand man. And so there's that. She's a Jew. And at that time, Jews, they weren't really the cream of the crop, but they also weren't like, dirt, under my shoe, but they were kind of looked down upon because, they're Jews, at that time. And so, yeah, she has a lot of reasons to live a fearful life. The biggest one is being married to a king whose right-hand man, who is in the Bible, in Esther's Haman, killed off his ex-wife. That happened in the beginning of Esther. I don't know about you, but if I was to marry a guy who had his friend kill off his ex-wife because that ex-wife wasn't obeying, the king's order, I'd be pretty fearful. I don't know about you. And so she has a lot of reasons to live her life not fearfully, but like in fear. And then the big picture, what happens in Esther? What is the reason for the book of Esther? Is this the annihilation of the Jews? So what happened in the book of Esther is Mordecai, being the Jew, kind of doesn't really follow the king's order. So he kind of just does his own thing. He's just there for Queen Esther. And the person that didn't like that is Haman. And so Haman walks up to the king and is like, King, there is a group of people, not specifying it was Jews now, there's a group of people that do this and do that don't really follow along with what you say. And so the king is like, do what you must with them, just kill them off. Yeah, not really saying kill them off, but like, do what you must with them, not knowing that it's Jews. But at that point, it doesn't even really matter that it's Jews or not, because he doesn't know that Queen Esther's a Jew, because she decided to keep that to herself. Which, again, why would you do that, Because she's scared. She's scared of what could happen if the king finds out that she's a Jew. So then we fast forward, Mordecai hears about it, and he's livid. He's livid, he tears his clothes off. He's like, oh my goodness, this is happening to my people. I have to say something to Queen Esther. And he goes, and he says, hey, Queen Esther, this is happening. You're the only one that has the power to change that. And Queen Esther is like, whoa, like that's a lot of pressure, for someone who lives in fear. But for someone who lives in fear, it's so easy to be like, no, it's not me. It's not me. I don't have the power to do that. And so, yeah, there's a lot of problems with her saying something. First of all, the law in that time says that the queen can't even go to the king unless she's summoned by the king. So she can't just walk up, in their little bedroom and be like, okay, let's talk. No, she has to be woken up by the king, which is outrageous, at this time. And two, by saying something, she kind of has to admit and let him know that, hey, I'm a Jew. Like, these are my people. And that's kind of what the verse is when we go back to chapter 7. That's where it kind of took action. With Queen Esther standing before the king and saying, spare my life. Spare my people's life. In verse 4 it says, for I and my people have been sold to be destroyed, killed, and annihilated. If we had merely been sold as male and female slaves, I would have been kept quiet, because no such distress would justify disturbing the king. So that was a really difficult verse to kind of figure out. But in that verse, Queen Esther is basically telling the king, hey, the Jews, they're rising up. They're coming up, And so that's what she's saying is like, yes, if we were slaves, like, there would be no reason for me to tell you about them dying off. But because, she cherishes her people, because the Jews are about to be something, she goes and say, hey, this is why I'm here, this is why I'm talking to you. And so that just, like, okay, go Queen Esther, like, go and talk to the king. So then I want to highlight just her courageous self in this whole, this whole story, and basically the fact that she acknowledges her people and revealing to the king of herself. I think that's courageous. Knowing the people, her people, and knowing how important she is, and saying, hey, I'm gonna save you guys, don't worry. 2, approaching the king knowing the rule and knowing the law. That's the big thing. That's courageous. And 3, recognizing the importance and in the moment, obviously she's not gonna know, but this is a stepping stone to what's about to happen, to Christ's coming. This, if she hadn't done this, who knows? Yes, the Jews, are going to still, according to God's plan, still rise, but she was an important vessel. And so I kind of want to just highlight that for a second. Yeah, it's scary to be courageous, but there's a reason why you have to be. Sure, anybody, God could have sent anybody, to, save the Jews, but he said, no, I'm going to use those who are scared. I'm going to use those who don't know the word to speak the word. He's going to use those who are unqualified, And so that's, I don't know, I just think that's amazing. And that's just a testimony to where I am today, like coming from Hawaii. I think it's mind-blowing to even think I'm here at San Diego Christian, speaking the word. But that's because I decided to hop back on the plane and come here every single semester, every single year. And that's courage in me. So the next time you face your fear and you feel something stirring in you, like, I don't know, man, like maybe that fear is too big. That's a lie from the devil. Fear is never too big. Go for it. Take that step. Because God is faithful and he will bring you through whatever you need to. Thank you.